All right, the Breakfast Chronicles Part 2. Got the Built Different oatmeal cooking in the background. It's time to drop some game on you guys. Or really drop some game on myself, because this video is really dedicated to myself from when I was younger, when I was addicted to Tinder and these dating apps, when I was addicted to external validation from women. You are not ready for a relationship. You are not ready for a relationship. We have an epidemic in this day and age, in modern society, where we have the majority of people going out and trying to find relationships because they don't feel complete in who they are. They don't feel whole and complete. They don't love themselves. They're looking for other people's permission to love themselves. And you have to think about how twisted that is, how convoluted that is, that you're seeking somebody else's permission, somebody who doesn't even know you most of the time, to love yourself. Nobody else will know you to the extent that you can know yourself. But a lot of you don't take the time to get to know yourself. And I'm not just talking about surface level things. I'm not talking about your personality. I'm not talking about your favorite food or your favorite clothes or anything like that. I'm talking about the deeply rooted traumas that you have, that you don't take the time to examine. You don't take self-inventory. Okay, not only does this block your blessings in terms of abundance, in terms of monetary success or achievements in life, but it blocks your blessings in terms of finding fulfilling relationships. You have to love yourself before you can love anybody else. And you have to love yourself before you can receive love from anyone else. Because you have to think about it. If you don't love yourself, how can somebody else love you? Okay, we all know somebody that when you try to compliment them, when you try to build them up, they tear themselves down. Why is that? Our egos do not like to be wrong. Our egos don't like to be wrong, especially about ourselves. The ego doesn't want to be wrong about itself. So once you have these perceptions of yourself that are rooted in this trauma, in your victim mentality, in your inferiority complex, in the way that you were taught to love at a young age, when that's not reflected back to you in the way that immediately or directly matches up with the way that you see yourself, okay, when somebody tries to give you the type of love that you refuse to give yourself, you repel it, you run from it. Okay, a lot of people, they are not ready for relationships. They're addicted to the idea of being in a relationship. They're addicted to the chase. A lot of people out here are addicted to the chase. Okay, have you ever been talking to somebody and things are going extremely well, and then all of a sudden they fall back? They fall back, their energy changes. They can't progress past a certain point. Why is that? They don't love themselves. They don't think that they're worthy of a relationship. Okay, it's pretty ironic because last year around this time, May of 2021, I made a video called "Your Fear of Commitment is Blocking Your Blessings." Now in that video, I was mostly talking about success in terms of commitment, committing to your purpose. But ironically, little did I know at the time that I had commitment issues. Okay, I was afraid to commit to myself. I was afraid to commit to my healing process. I buried myself in my work and in self-improvement, in building up the surface level, because I thought that if I could build up the surface level high enough, I could get away from that foundation. Okay, I could be at the top floor and I wouldn't have to worry about the foundation. But the thing is, the more you build, the more apparent it becomes that your foundation is unstable. Okay, and that's something that I've realized as I've put myself back out there in the dating world. Okay, I've been on Hinge for probably the past month or so, and I finally, a few days ago, built up the courage to delete it again. Not because dating apps are toxic, but because I wasn't healed. Okay, I'm gonna keep it real with you guys. There were three girls that things were going pretty well with them on Hinge, and they all ended the same exact way. We'd be having a great conversation, and then out of nowhere, they just pull away. Just out of nowhere, they pull away mid-conversation. Some of them, they would just stop the conversation. They wouldn't even start dry texting me. No one-word responses, no nothing. It's just, I text them, they just stop responding. Boom, over. Now, in the past, I would have been resentful over that. I would have thought about all of the problems with modern women, all of the problems with dating apps. But what I've realized is it has nothing to do with that. It has nothing to do with modern women. It has nothing to do with dating apps. It has everything to do with me. Okay, I had to take accountability and realize that I am the common denominator there. If that continues to happen over and over and over again, there's a reason why. There's some underlying thought pattern in my subconscious mind that is making me gravitate towards these types of women. Okay, like I said, it's not about them, it's about me. There will always be people out there who are not ready for relationships. There will always be people out there who are ready for relationships. But generally speaking, the people who are not ready for relationships attract each other. Okay, and that's where we have this perception that true love doesn't exist anymore, that romance is dead. No, it's very alive, but you have to love yourself first. You have to love yourself first. Okay, you have to get past those limiting belief systems that prevent you from progressing in relationships. Okay, something that I noticed in myself is that whenever I'd start talking to a girl, I would be very, very pessimistic. I'd be very cynical. They would be guilty until proven innocent. If you're approaching dating with that mindset, you're not ready for a relationship. Okay, if you already have doubts before they give you a reason to doubt them, you're not ready for a relationship. Okay, and when you come in with that mindset, a lot of times you will self-sabotage. You're gonna self-sabotage in some way, shape, or form. Okay, for me, for example, it comes in the form of pettiness. I realized I can be very petty, especially when it comes to talking to girls. If a girl takes too long to respond, I have a tendency to match her reply times. Okay, I have trouble putting my pride to the side in order to progress in the conversation. And that's not to say that you shouldn't try to be with somebody who reciprocates your energy. Okay, you should be with somebody who reciprocates your energy, but at the same time, if you're just gonna play games and be petty, then you have to be willing to take what comes with that. Okay, the universe will reciprocate that back to you. And when you play games, you'll always lose. You will always lose. You cannot play games and be in a relationship at the same time. Okay, because when you're playing games, you're not in love, you're in fear. You're playing those games because you're fearful of losing this person. You're fearful of rejection. And so you're trying to take power back. You're trying to control the power dynamic because you don't have control over yourself. You see, something that I've realized in life is that the people who seek the most power typically have the least power over themselves. They project that lack of self-love onto other people by trying to control them. Because they can't control how they feel about themselves, they feel like they need to control others. If you have that type of mindset, you're not ready for a relationship. Okay, you're not ready for a relationship. And a lot of these things are subconscious. A lot of these things are completely subconscious. In your mind, in your conscious mind, you think that you're looking for this type of person. But deep down, you just want somebody to reflect back to you how you see yourself. You want somebody to treat you the way that you see yourself. Okay, so I realized if I want to find a girl who can consistently reciprocate my energy, I have to be willing to consistently give myself the love that I desire. Trying to play games with people, that's never gotten me anywhere. It's never gotten me anywhere. And like I said, it has nothing to do with the dating apps. It has nothing to do with modern women. It has everything to do with me. Okay, and if you're having these same struggles, it probably has everything to do with you. You have to learn to take accountability over your own life. You have to learn how to take accountability. Because if you don't take accountability, you'll always be a victim. You'll always put yourself in that victim space. You see, something else that I realized about myself is that I always put myself in the victim mentality. I always put myself in the role of the victim with every relationship failure that ever occurred in my life. Anytime I felt like a girl did me dirty or anything, if I look back, I realized that they were only giving me the level of love that I gave myself. Because if I had loved myself, I would have known to walk away. I would have known to walk away when the red flags presented themselves. But ultimately, I didn't love myself enough to walk away. Even though I was abundantly aware of all of these red flags and the potential pitfalls of being with somebody who has those types of red flags, I didn't walk away because I didn't love myself enough to be comfortable being single. If you're not comfortable being single, you're not ready for a relationship. You have to understand that a relationship between two people is really a relationship between four people, because each person should be in a relationship with themselves first. You have to be willing to fill your own cup. You can't expect somebody to come in and complete you. That's unfair. That's not fair to them. That is not fair to them. You have to be willing to complete yourself first, fill your own cup, and find somebody else who fills their own cup. You see, when you fill your own cup, when you love yourself, you'll attract people who reflect that back to you. That same mechanism that is keeping you out of relationships will help you find a fulfilling relationship once you do the inner work. But that starts with accountability. Are you willing to be accountable? Are you willing to stop playing the victim role? Okay, now when I say the victim role, I'm not invalidating your experiences. Like I said, I had girls who did me dirty. Okay, I had some girls who did me downright, absolutely just atrocious. Okay, and a lot of people have had it much worse. A lot of people have had to deal with abuse from multiple partners, verbally, physically, or both. But when you start having patterns in your life that present themselves in the form of other people and in broken relationships, you have to ask yourself, what is the common denominator? You see, a lot of people, they place the common denominator outside of themselves. I could have easily said, women are just not capable of loving. All women want rich men. They want the top 1% of men. I could have easily fell into that mindset. And for a while I did. I almost did. But then I decided to take accountability. I decided to stop being a bitch. Okay, honestly, I decided to stop being a bitch and take accountability for my life. Because I realized that if I want better, better starts with me. I have to do better. I have to be better. And that's why I decided to get off of Hinge. I had to get off Hinge, not because Hinge is a bad dating app, but because I need to heal myself. I still have some healing to do. I have some healing to do. And I have to own up to that and be okay with that and be patient with myself. That's what self-love is all about. Okay, I'm willing to take the time to heal properly, thoroughly. And that doesn't mean that I'll be perfect. I'll never be perfect. Healing is a lifelong process, but there comes a point in time when you have to just fall back and say, yo, I need to focus on myself for a little bit. I gotta focus on myself and let relationships happen when they happen, because I'm simply not ready. And when I am ready, a relationship will present itself. I'll have that opportunity. But right now, if this recurring theme continuously presents itself in my life in the form of girls just ghosting me mid-conversation, what does that mean? I know I'm not a bad conversationalist. I know that with 100% certainty. So what does that really mean? It means that I'm subconsciously seeking out the types of women who are probably not ready for relationships themselves. But I can't put that on them because, like I said, they're only reflecting back to me the self-love that I give myself, the type of love that I give myself. Accountability is everything. And until you figure that out, you're not ready for a relationship.